opportunities for as well. So, in any case, looking for a fun open here. We have Chipotle trading down around the 328 level. I'd love to see Chipotle flush through 300 even number. You give me a 300 flush, I probably pick it up. Obviously, I'll go light on it since it's a falling knife, but nonetheless, it could be a very interesting play there. CMG. Other stocks with earnings, obviously Google is up on earnings. Google trading up nicely higher. Up that's Chipotle. You can see Chipotle opening down 75 points on the day. It's a nice drop on that stock. I think it's about an 18% drop. Then if we look at Google, up $12, $12.50, although that's coming in from the gap up here already. And then we have Microsoft had earnings of 25 cents, not a big move there. And a bunch of other stocks had earnings as well, but those are the name brand ones. Those are the ones most people will be talking about. There's your spiders inching down a little bit below support line right here. Let's see if we close below that level. You have a possibility to head all the way down. For me, the best level of the day will be the 200 MA. 200 moving average would be the best level on the SPY. All right. So again, you have this trend line right there. And then if you start to sell, this area down here is the big level. And right now the 200 MA is around the 136.30, 35 level. All right. Good little fade on a lot of stocks here, including Microsoft and Google. Both have come off their initial highs. Apple's down $1.50. Baidu's down $1.20. IBM is down $1.20 as well, coming off the big surge on earnings yesterday. Financials, that was one thing I mentioned yesterday. 2 days in a row, financials were weak. Market cannot hold up if the financials are not helping the market. And sure enough, if we go to JP Morgan Chase today, look at that, down 47 cents, bouncing a little bit off its lows. Let's find out the next support level on this. Let's see here. Yeah, you have a little support right here, which we already hit. Right in this range. That's what we're kind of into right now. I don't think I'll scalp this as a long, though. I think more than anything, this one would be a nice one down here. This level is the 3380 level. So 3380, and then 3360 would be the next one. So again, these are your three levels. You're obviously piercing the first one right here, which is minor. Spiders are trying to hold this trend line here, bouncing up a little bit. CMG getting a few buyers to step in here, trading at 333 today. Pre-market, it got down to 325 on CMG. So, I mean, you did see a little bit of selling there below current levels. So continuing to kind of see that action. Yeah, Ryan's mentioning a little bit of a head and shoulder pattern there. Yeah, it's okay. Yep. Basically already played out though. I mean, so or almost did anyways. So it's really a non-event now. But you can see it there a little bit. You can see the shoulder, head, and shoulder, neckline break, gap down. So again, spiders here holding steady down about 72 cents, 73 cents. We have recaptured that trend line. Notice the trend line working beautifully here on the SPY. Even JPM is starting to bounce a little bit above this level here. Baidu trading down about $1.23. Google's still up 13, although that's off the highs. Amazon's trading up a little bit after a very nice move yesterday. Looks like Amazon gapped down and then surged up and has gone to the flat line here. Yeah, it's a big move on Amazon there. Very nice move. Spider's good recovery here, pushing up a little bit, down 67 cents. First Solar down 16 cents. MasterCard down almost 5. Wells Fargo's positive here, so One Financial's doing all right. Bank of America. Let me just take a look at Bank of America here. Yeah, it's not a pretty chart on BAC at all. Wow. So BAC's fallen now below all three moving averages. Spanish yields are at their highest all time on the 10-year. That's really one of the major effects driving the downside here in the U.S. is problems jumping up in Spain again. Let's go back to our short plays here. Let's see how Walmart's doing. Walmart's down a couple pennies on the day after that nice fall yesterday, beautiful fall yesterday. And corn was up, and corn is bouncing up a little bit. So after that major decline yesterday, CORN bouncing back about 95 cents. Still in the money on that short. And then, of course, the USO here trading down a nice 40 cents on the day. Extended move. It was a very obvious play. If you know your time counts and such, the short yesterday was a pretty easy one. if you know the methodology. If you don't know the methodology, you had no clue, but if you knew the methodology, the PPT methodology worked perfectly on that as the USO is pulling back, and that just, yields profits to our pockets. All right. Markets are starting to fall again. I'll keep an eye on things. Let me look at potash, POT. Yeah, potash continues to kind of hover here, chopping up and down above the moving averages on the daily chart. Intraday, we're trying to hold the 200 MA here. Let's see what else we have. American Express is trading down a little bit after it fell yesterday on earnings. Still not back to the lows from yesterday, which would be down here. Might be supported down there if it goes back in that range. CMG back to 335, so that continues to see a little bit of a bounce. I'd love to see a flush on that thing down below 300, but again, it doesn't look likely right now. Market's continuing to hold here, just barely holding this trend line. Looks a little weak right now after that initial bounce is coming right down. Again, a close below that trend line would bring us most likely into the next support, possibly a sell-off all the way to the blue line, 200 MA. Just continuing to scan through, seeing if there's anything going on. Google continues to sell off here. Nice little red candle to start the day on the 10-minute. As of now, I don't really see a level I'd like to scalp Google at. The only thing I would think of is if it sold all the way down into the highs from yesterday, you'd probably get a little bounce. And then obviously at gap fill 50 MA down here would be another bouncing opportunity. Those would be really the two levels on Google for a long. Amazing how the market is hovering just on that little support line right there. Neither breaking up or breaking down or which way. It doesn't tell us which way it's going to go with any certainty as of now. Microsoft up 22 cents on the day. Hewlett-Packard keeps falling here. HPQ. HPQ actually looks somewhat interesting to me on the long side. If I didn't think we were coming into a downward move in the markets, I'd probably be a little bit more cautious there. Or I'd think at least about picking it up as a possibility. Keep an eye on STEM, folks. STEM here at 137. Nice retrace play. Usually on day 3 into day 4, after a pullback, it'll get another boost. So sometimes you'll see a little bit of a run higher on some of these plays here. It's had a nice little retrace off that major pivot high at $1.85. So market's now pushing back up. Looks more and more like we'll hold that level as of now anyways. Nice pop on STEM, guys, 141. Beautiful little move there, 143. There you go. 30,000 out, 143. Looks like they're printing them though. 21, 2018, 14.7. There it is. 144. 145. 147. Oh man. Take half off here, guys. 145 to 147. Break even stop. Done. That was easy. Amazing. Gotta love plays like that, guys. I love retrace plays. Retrace plays are some of my favorites when I'm dealing with small caps especially. I mean, just think about that. 10 cents on a dollar stock in a matter of just a minute or two. Awesome. Spiders held above that key trend line. Let's take a look at CMG. Let's jump back to that one. Yeah, CMG starting to sell off, guys. Again, I'd love to see CMG sell off all the way down below 300. 300 would be perfect. 136, Mario, from me. 148 now. On STEM. But again, just make sure you're at a half of that STEM. At least, you should get about 10 cents out of it or so from where I mentioned it. And break-even stop on the remainder. Jan mentioning A1. Yeah, they had news this morning. That's getting a beautiful pop on A1, A123 Systems. Out second half on STEM here, folks. Out second half, 153 from 136. Look at that pop. 10% in 2-3 minutes. It's going nuts, too. There you go, Josh. Good job. Josh just paid for his weekend. Paul mentioning SanDisk. Let's take a look at SanDisk, SNDK. They had earnings as well. Yeah, stock is, stock's up, but there's not much we can do with that, Paul. Unless it comes into a major resistance area. I would say this is the only interesting level I would possibly think about as a scalp on SanDisk, and that's at the 40.5 level. There's a gap fill there, major gap fill. Nice, Josh. Good job. Shirag mentioning Freeport-McMoRan. Let's take a look at Freeport here. Yeah, I'm not seeing much on Freeport. Again, Shirag, that 33.18 200 MA is okay, but again, it's kind of far away at this point. Market's beginning to break down here a little bit. I still think this market could easily go down to the 200 MA today. Josh mentioning Monsanto here for a swing short. All right, again, guys, let's focus on day trading for the next 30 minutes or so. We can always look at swing shorts later on. Let's see what Apple's doing. Nothing on Apple. Yeah, Baidu, if it flushes into the 200, you should have a lot of support at the 200 right here. Sue wondering if CMG goes to 300, what would be the entry point? I would put your entry right around the 397, 398 level. I'd probably keep about a $3 stop on it and look for a $3 to $5 bounce. So you'd have to buy a small position, obviously. I personally, even me, I'd probably end up buying like 300 shares or something, something small for me. For a lot of you guys, you'd probably buy 50 shares or 100 shares. Tony wondering about a Netflix scalp at 81.20. Yeah, I'm up in the air about that. Again, notice the beginnings of consolidation here and the low tails. Markets, again, lows of the day down 95 cents. Let's do a quick check on the USO. Yep, down 55 cents. Good fall in the USO. GLD is down 40 cents and SLV is down 30 cents.